Fans, what's up, SFB Buffalo? This is exciting. Mike Shope, Adam Krautwurst. Tonight, first, we will talk to Fantasy Mojo about the upcoming FFPC Main Event, which is always great. There's some new things about it, and Mojo, Darren Armani, has done some cool research on how last year's teams that won did it, and that also brings us back to SFB12 because we'll have main event champions there for this draft coming up. We'll explain all that. And also, like, what's different this year and how do you want to play it differently, things like that. So some Scott Fishbowl draft slot determination. Wow, Adam, are you nervous? Because you sounded.
I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous.
All right, Darren's waiting. Thanks for joining us. Big night. This is the Deep End. Excited?
Very excited. Very excited. And Kevin is very excited as well. Sorry, we're a little behind schedule. Lots of stuff going on. What a day today.
What's that logo? That's a Fishbowl logo from maybe last year.
AC/DC.
Last year was bands. So that's what that is.
I was the Police, I think. You
were the Police. I was Radiohead. But okay. I picked my favorite band, and maybe your favorite band isn't the Police?
No.
So how did you end up there?
I don't know. I think I made the playoffs, so I'll take it again if you want to go that route.
Well, I mean, I want to ask Darren this too. Like, none of us is winning the Scott Fishbowl. Like, almost everybody doesn't win the Scott Fishbowl. But I'm in a room with you and Matt Schauf and Zachary Kruger and Louis G and Sneaky Joe. Yeah. Like, come on, what are our chances? We're just gonna eat each other whole live.
That's
in this
right.
Thing on July 14th. All right, first up, we're always happy to have Darren Armani with us. One of our favorites, Fantasy Mojo, the man every high-stakes player turns to for information. Darren, have you figured out a way to use what you know against the high-stakes community? Because, I don't know, that's one option.
Nah, they're too good, to be honest. I mean, the players, I'm good with the data, but I'll be honest, you get guys like Hubbard and Chad, and like they're animals. I don't have as much bandwidth to grind it like those guys do. So I got a complicated life outside of fantasy football.
Chad Schrader told us he doesn't draft until August. What does that sound like to you?
I was aware of that. So I've known that for like 3-4 years. I think that's, he's smart. He just decompresses in the off season, and then he comes in and he's not jaded by any like preseason biases, and he just goes in and he does his thing. You probably heard him. He's a value drafter, and he just has, he'll hit it hard during the season. So, and he comes in and he does well too. It's not like he's rusty, because I seen one of the more impressive things I saw was, I think it was 2 years ago, is FFPC has these big dog best ball drafts, $12.50 each, and he hopped in those, and then he ended up winning all three of them. It's like, and all of his drafts were different, he's a value drafter, and it's impressive.
That's it. Darren, I was thinking before we started, what do you have a name that you use in every draft? Like, I can't think of, or are you like laying in the shadows here?
I'll try to kind of maintain a low profile. I use different, like if you go to the owner's page, you'll see it's me, but I like to use a different name.
Sure.
I think this year my theme is obscure wrestlers. So I'm like, I want Salvatore Baloma. I was in with Mike with one of those, and I got Flex Cavana, which is The Rock's original name, and just all these wacky names. So
that's good trivia.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah,
it was Guilds who said, I think, Adam, you called Guilds out once, like, who is this? Or somebody did. He's like, never change the name never show your face until it's over.
Yeah, that's right. That was Guilds.
That was a ship chasing draft. I was in there with Guilds changed his team name midstream. So when he started the draft, he was one name, and then round 5 or 6, he changed it back to Guilds.
Yeah.
He's trying to do it.
The hard part's over. I might as well do this now.
Yeah, he's going to reveal himself.
I've showed my strategy. Now I don't have to worry about it. Now it's just players.
Yeah.
Well, Darren, you've done a great job here on fantasymojo.com with like the definitive articles on the main event are on that site, and the latest one talks about next year or this year coming up, but also how last year was won. Let's start with the changes the FFPC made to the prize structure. Everything's bigger this year. What did they do, and what does it mean?
So last year the top prize was $500,000 for first and $100,000 for second. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's right. 5-1.
Yeah.
And this year they doubled it to $1 million for first place. And now they have 3 prizes that are 6 figures or more. So first is $1 million, second is $200,000, third is $100,000, which is a $65,000 bump up from $35,000 last year.
Yeah.
So if you don't hit, the main event or the overall prize, you still got some pretty nice, the prizes at second and third. But they did. The other thing you got to realize is they added 100 more leagues. So it comes with some increased competition. And they did put that extra money for the most part up top, which is what people are playing for anyway. It's like with the underdogs. Like nobody cares like what the league prizes is. They're shooting for the, that low hanging fruit, to grab at the top of the contest. So, but
well, that sounds like high hanging fruit to me. I'm gonna have to crawl.
Yeah, high hanging fruit.
I'm gonna have to really crawl up there. But yeah, no, this is what we've been waiting for, right, Darren? And Mike, we haven't won the main event because we've been waiting for it to be $1 million. Is what we've been waiting for. So here we go.
Dude, you were 5th 2 years ago.
I was 5th 2 years ago, and it's even up. So that was $15K, and now it's $25K. So it's even up from there. So the top 6 spots are all getting a prize bump. Everybody else is staying the same, but we like that $1 million up top. I'm really excited about that. Do you think that changes any strategies, Darren? Because so they're adding another 1,200 teams. Do you think this becomes more of a? I mean, how many? Do you have the numbers on like what the highest amount of teams people uses? Because you go an underdog, and a lot of people are maxing out those tournaments, 150 teams. Is there anyone? You don't have to tell me, be specific. Is there anybody doing 150?
I can't tell for sure. But some people like will name their teams like with a number. Right. And I know Chad did that, and he was easily over 100 teams last year. I don't know if he maxed it out.
Sure.
But then the amazing thing is because I'll look at the prize on our site, we list, for every contest that the FFPC has, we'll have. Here are the teams that won every event, and we'll list them, and then I'll have the team name in there, and you can click on it and link to what was their draft like, what was their rosters, and Chad's on there 50 times for the main event, and I'm that he got into the sprint. It's crazy, but I don't know, I don't know numbers of who's maxing it out. That's something the FFPC guys would know.
Yeah, and the thing that I like about the main event and not treating it too much like a tournament when you're drafting is because you have to set your own lineup. It's not best ball. So teams, people can't. The reason why people don't max it out is it's really expensive. It's $1,800 a team or so, and you have to have smart enough people. You can't do that all by yourself. You have to have people you trust. You can't. You make a lot more mistakes in season long lineup setting, waivers, fab budget than just set it and forget it best ball where you can just let it play out.
Right. It doesn't scale if you're doing it by yourself. It doesn't scale, to do massive amounts of teams. That's why people have partners and they split roles and responsibilities. I'll do the drafts, you do the lineups, then you do the waivers is what is going to kill you. Right. So it's all fun and games when you're drafting, you're having a good time, and then the reality hits of the season comes and you got to do these waivers, and it's that's the grind I referred to. Is that'll consume your life. If you got too many teams.
Hence best ball. Darren, just as a quick aside, can you believe how big it is? All of it?
I mean, it's kind of it is surprising because it can't just be the format, because I did my first best ball drafts with WCOFF in Vegas, in 2003. I did those leagues,
Yeah.
And so literally I was probably like in the first 20 people, 25 people to be doing best ball leagues,
Yeah.
ever. And then it really didn't pick up. Like they had the MFL 10s and I played those, but it's just crazy. Like the volume, and I guess it's the marketing. It's a big prize. It's $1 million. You can win $1 million for like $20.
Right.
And it's the technology too. They just make it so easy with these apps. You got these guys like James Brimacombe and I guess Liam and all these other guys. They're running multiple drafts at the same time, and a lot of times they're auto drafting them just to, get exposure and get teams into the tournament. Because when I do like an FFPC best ball, I'm like well thought out about it, and I'm like paying attention.
Yeah.
You can't. It's tough to do that with if you're going to try and max enter these giant tournaments. So.
Well, what James said, and I know you saw it, was put 150 teams in right away, half of which were on auto because he had his own ADP and he thought the underdog, list wouldn't be really current. And if people are just sort of half paying attention or whatever, he was going to beat them. And so that's one way to do it.
Yeah. And you got to, I gave that I did that a little bit of that last weekend. I made a list and I entered like 15 of the Superflex puppies. And then as the drafts rolled, I looked at the team and it's like, well, did I like the way it came out? Let me adjust the rankings. Okay. I was getting the quarterbacks later than I want. So you have to it's like machine learning. And then you go back and you tweak your projections and then you get it to where you want, and you can just let it auto pick. So yeah, it's really, it's an art, it's not the way it used to be.
Darren, so this year there's the added money and some changes to how you might go about attacking your draft or drafts. How about last year? So we know the guys who won. We met them, live right around the corner here in Western New York. The thing I remember is picking up Joe Burrow on waivers, middle of the season. And so what did you learn, if anything, from last year, looking up how the teams that did well? Like what was different about it or maybe useful for this year about last year?
I think recency bias is going to play a lot into it this year. And most of the teams that ended up winning, or there's two things, like a lot of them went hero RB, drafted that running back in the first couple rounds and then hit the receivers and then, kind of filled it out with the second, third tier backs later on. But then the other thing is because the Burrow Chase explosion, like, okay, now everybody's like, oh, look how this year ended. We're going to do this correlation for week 17. There wasn't that, like, I drafted some teams last year, like with that thought in mind, but it wasn't like now it's like, that's like their whole purpose of or their whole philosophy when they go in these drafts. So I need to get like these super stacks at the end of the year to have a chance. So each year it gets tougher to find like an edge that's going to separate you from the field. But for the most part, guys doing what they did last year.
Darren, is week 17 specifically worth playing in main event when it's 3 weeks?
No, I mean, it kind of stands out because that was the deciding week, but for the main event, it's a 3-week sprint. So you got to weight the weeks sort of evenly if you are looking at the schedule for playoff purposes. Mm-hmm. So, and I know maybe you guys do this too. I do a schedule and then I like weight, the games, and then I look at, okay, which teams have like the highest or the easiest schedule or most advantageous schedule in terms of like what they could do offensively. And then those are the players that I'll target. So it's not just week 7, but week 17 is sort of like the showcase week. And that's the one everybody's remember because that was the decisive week for in most cases.
Yeah, and I think that has to do, like, the week 17 is when you get in these tournaments that are week by week, right? So, each week you get eliminated and a certain amount of people move on. So week 17 is everything, and it's very top heavy. Like, 99% of the prize goes to first place, and it's week by week. That's what I like about, all these tournaments where you have to set your lineups. You got the FFPC, the other ones too, NFFC, FFWC, same kind of thing. But no, you can't play for the 1 week. You've got you have to get through your league a lot of times just to get in, so you have bye weeks that you have to worry about that are in the fantasy playoffs for your league.
Right.
You've got a schedule where, like, let's say you have a really nice week 17 schedule, but week 15 and 16, you play the two hardest defenses in football. Well, that's not going to help you week 17. So yeah, there's a lot more thought. You can't just draft for week 17 in this style tournament, which I really, really like, because it makes more strategy and it makes it a little bit tougher. And it makes the rosters more unique. Cause I mean, how many times, I don't know how many teams are in this underdog. It's like, how many, Mike, are in the
451,200.
And all 451,000 people are optimizing for week 17. So it's they're all going to have the same. And here's the thing, the offshoot, like, if all those players do great, then you're all going to split the money. And if none of them do well, then none of you are making any of the money. So it's I don't think it's as simple as that, but I really do like this FFPC for format, and a lot of these other sites that do this type of format as well.
I'm all about the 17, but in this, I feel like already from what you said right away, what we've sort of talked about, that 15 and 16 are the play in terms of building it. If 17 is the glamour week and underdog drafters come over and they have all, this is me, by the way, they have all those matchups memorized, then go play 15 and 16. And, you can't predict whose defenses are going to be good. I mean, that is not something I would bother with. Just want to make sure I have the correlation that gives me a chance.
Right. And you have that distinction of, like, there are kickers and defenses in play that, not that they're a huge thing, but that's a differentiator. That all these best ball maniacs aren't really that doesn't translate over to a season-long main event format. So, we'll have to see. But, and everybody thinks last year, like, oh, Mark Andrews was the man. Well, Mark Andrews gets the glory because he's the one who went bananas, like, that week 17. And one of the things we do on the site is in our main event analysis is we break down, like, look at the top teams over that 3-week sprint, and we look at who are the top performers within that 3-week period. And the reality is the most commonly owned player on the top 5 winning teams was actually Dalton Schultz, who nobody really talks about.
Yeah.
But he was the guy that, like, put these guys over the top.
Was he number 2, Darren? The number 2 tight end in the race?
He was 1 or 2.
1 or 2, yeah. I think the Go Bills had Schultz on their team.
They had both. They had Andrews and they had Schultz.
There you go. That'll do it.
So, and Schultz was a guy a lot of teams picked up. He was undrafted on a lot of teams because there was that Blake Jarwin versus Dalton Schultz controversy. And it wasn't until later in the preseason that it became clear what was going to happen. And it was weird, too, because even after that opening game where Schultz had a pretty good game, he still wasn't getting drafted that high in main events. And I was doing the high dollar best balls. He was still there in the 20th round. I was like, historically, the Dallas tight end is like a money-making position. So, it's weird.
Yeah, it's really interesting, especially with the main event starting July 4th, and same as last year, is like you said, yeah, you get a Dalton Schultz July 4th, doesn't get drafted, but then maybe by the main event, in September, at least he's getting drafted, but that's then that first waiver wire, you're spending all that money on him and Elijah Mitchell and all that stuff. It's just like the game within the game. You're in the same tournament, but you're playing, almost with a different mindset if you draft in July and draft in September.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players who don't like that early July slow draft because historically they like having all the drafts kind of in like that tight window in late August, and now there's like some of the old timers, they don't like that you can do slow drafts in July and get those early values potentially.
Well, I would
get injuries too. So
I've been around the high stakes world since I was a kid, and I wouldn't say that I'm an old timer. If you want $1 million up top, you have to do these high stakes events in July because you just need enough drafts. But if I had my choice as a player, I would much rather start in August, have them all be live drafts, whether it's online or in Vegas, because I don't and we've talked about this before, and we'll talk about it again. Someone takes Tony Pollard in the 8th round in July 4th, and then Zeke goes down, and now they have a 1st-round pick.
Right.
So I'm forced to, and I'm fine with it because this is what I do. I'm forced to draft early because I need those exposures to those players. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to love drafting, but I would just prefer to have everything be in August and September. But I also want the $1 million up top as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you want to sample it over the course of the drafting season.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz in the bare knuckle right after Dallas, Tampa Bay, week 1 last year, 13:05. Blake Jarwin, 14:03. Not a huge difference.
There you go.
Darren, it's always such a pleasure to talk to you. Before you go, just pump your site if you want. I mean, I think pretty much anybody who watches us knows what you're about and what Fantasy Mojo is about. What else can players get from your site that should make them want to subscribe?
Yeah, I mean, I say it's like the one-stop shop for everything for high-stakes fantasy football. So the main features are for FFPC, we have every draft board that's drafted online. Now it's kind of more of a common thing where people see the snapshots of the draft boards on Twitter. But if you want a complete index over the course of the draft season, we have that. ADPs for every variation of contests that FFPC offers, every dynasty, every superflex tournament. We have stack finders. One thing that'll be important for main event players is once you get in the season and you hit those waiver runs, we have waiver run history historically for the past 3 or 4 years. So you want comps. The question is, how much should I bid on this guy? Well, you can go back to look in 2021 and see, like, okay, the premier wide receiver for that first waiver run, these are the bids that won. So you can use that to, figure out what the appropriate price is. And it's pretty spot on from year to year. I just want to add one more thing before I run. So the zero RB controversy, how people say, well, it's never won an overall. And I did go and look and see like what were the top performing zero RB teams for last year. So actually the zero RB teams finished in 16th, 19th, and 21st place. So
how do you define it?
So I went and looked at teams that did not draft the running back in the first 5 rounds.
5. Okay.
And then I found these teams, like one guy went like 7, like straight 7 receivers, and another guy like mixed in a tight end. So they're getting there. They're getting closer. So I think we're going to see more of that this year. It's certainly not going to dissuade anybody. They got pretty close last year. And interestingly, all 3 of those teams drafted James Conner too. So you do have to hit on one of those overperforming, running backs, which is sort of the premise when they do that. So
that's right. Yep.
So they're getting
I like the strategy more this year because I like the receivers like back of the first round. If I'm drafting back of the first round, I can easily justify 1, 2, 3 and a tight end, something like that, or one of the top quarterbacks, in the top 6 picks. And then I like the running backs that are there waiting. Maybe not round 7, but Edwards-Helaire and Miles Sanders.
Too. Yeah, they seem better in the later. Last year, they you had the whole dead zone and like these guys, they weren't even that attractive. It turned out to work okay if you hit on Connor or like Fournette was another guy too.
Yes, my dead zone is the back half of the first round. I don't want any of those guys there. I don't want Mixon or Henry or maybe Dalvin Cook, but those guys in the back half of the first round.
Well, pick one's historically been a curse the past 3-4 years too. So and if you look at our main event analysis on the site, we'll show you the top 5 teams. Like what draft slots did they pick in, and you can kind of look at that because that's always a common question. What's the best spot to draft in? What time of year did these teams draft? Did they draft live, in person, or online? And 2 years ago, the overall winner drafted live in Vegas. So that will tell you can draft live with the big dogs out in Vegas and still win. So
that's right.
And of the top 5 last year, if I remember your article right, 2 picked 12th.
Yeah. And the number 5 team drafted live. And I think it's the same guy you drafted with in the Bare Knuckles.
Mongoose?
Yeah, that guy's like he's like a machine. He's winning everything.
Yeah, he won the bare knuckle, the cup team after I picked Woods. So,
Okay.
Well, listen,
sorry,
I'm embarrassed that the main event champs, Go Bills, were in one of my main events. I mean, I'm like the guy who gave up the home run to somebody who broke a home run record or something. Like, that's me,
You served it up.
I served it up. But
who do you want for that? You want like Chandler Park? You want somebody who you want somebody who gave up? Well, it wasn't the same pitcher, was it? Who gave up 2 grand slams in 1 inning? Like who's the all-time? Who's the sort of the buffoon?
I'll be that one.
I'll be that one.
Guy.
Yeah. All right, Darren.
Sweet.
See you in Vegas, if not sooner. Oh, the expo.
The expo. Yes, right.
We'll be out there, and we'll hopefully you don't get arrested.
Oh. always good advice. We won't see you at the Fishbowl Buffalo, though.
No, I got enough traveling.
That's right.
No, it's just I don't have bandwidth, man. I got every weekend booked from like mid-July through September now. It's crazy.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. Enjoy your summer.
All right, guys.
See you, Darren.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, man.
Darren Armani, Fantasy Mojo.
Love it.
I'm almost out of water. We're not even to the slots yet.
But yeah, for people listen, Darren, most people that are doing FFPC belong to his site, fantasymojo.com. Great information. Go read that article. It's behind the paywall, as it should be. Go read that article about last year's winners and previous winners, when they drafted, as far as time of year, what draft slots, what, all that different stuff. You can see the waiver runs. You can see all the information. So certainly worth a deep dive on his website. Absolutely.
All right, let's go. Time to select the draft positions for
just right into it, huh?
Everybody. Yes.
All right, let's do it.
I thought I was being all like prepared earlier today. I'm like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a wheel for all the names. As it happens, it is the wheelofnames.com.
Wheel of names.
And then we'll have a separate wheel for the draft position. So I'm going to draft your name, spin your name, and then the draft position. But that didn't work because we would need 2 screens for that, and we're allowed 1 share screen.
Yes.
So I have to scroll that up a little bit, right? How's
yes. That? Am I keeping track of this, Mike, or are you keeping track of this?
You can. I also have a spreadsheet, but we can't show that. Is there a way to show results? There really maybe isn't.
I can keep track of it and then show the results.
All right, I will do that too, but that would be at the end of the spinning.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be fancy, but it's going to be something.
All right, I'll do that too. So 24 names are entered. Well, 22 are entered here in the wheel of names.
Yeah.
When we get started, we'll spin. The first person named will be the 101 in Scott Fishbowl 12 Buffalo League One.
League One. Got it.
And then the next person whose name comes up will be the 101 in the second league.
Oh, okay.
We'll go back and forth.
Back and forth. Okay.
We have 10 analysts by Scott's definition on the list. And I don't want more than 6 in one league. I want 6 in one and 5 in the other. Or is that 11? I guess that'd be 11.
This is like a World Cup. Is this a World Cup draw?
It's a little bit of a World Cup feel to it. That's right.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
I don't know what it is right now. I should have that in front of me, and I don't, to be able to know who's an analyst and who isn't. Let's get that. I might have closed that screen by accident. Let's get that. I think I know most of them by this point, but
listen, we're all analysts.
I'm going to get that in front of me.
We're all analyzing something here.
That's a good point. Get that in front of me before we start.
Spin, 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 spin.
Look at that thing go.
Schauf, Schopp, Schwarzkopf. Oh my gosh!
You know him?
No, I know. I've heard of General Schwarzkopf. That's about as far as that goes.
Until July 14th, when you might end up just butting heads with Brett Schwarzkopf, Sleeper Wire Fantasy Rounders.
All right,
we're gonna have all these people with us at Big Ditch Brewery in downtown Buffalo, July 14th. Thurman Thomas will be there, and all the proceeds will benefit his foundation, and that money is specifically targeted toward the Buffalo Urban League, which is doing the absolute most needed work in the city, helping people whose families were affected, upended by the shooting here 6 weeks or so ago. and also people who were employees at the grocery store, and just like they are working so hard and they need the most help. So that's where we're going to focus our efforts. We're going to sell tickets for $75 each. If you happen to be around, they'll go on sale by tomorrow. And that'll include food and a chance to meet Thurman and hang out with us. And also, and this was Scott Fish's idea, he said, auction off one spot to somebody there. So we will do that. So if you come to it, you will have a chance to bid for a spot in the Scott Fish Bowl. There are 2 open spots. One is I'm working with some people to try to find us one more sort of known name who might want to do it. I can tell you secondhand that Josh Allen was asked, but the draft, it had to be on the early side because Scott didn't want a later draft where we all have an advantage. Like, what if the Watson news breaks, between when drafts are over and when we, for example. So we moved it up. It worked better for Thurman that way. It just happens to be the last week off for the Bills. So most of those guys will not be in town. I know I was told Allen said that, and Dawson Knox, Dawson Knox plays fantasy. Last year was talking about how Eckler told him Eckler was going to sit for a game. There were about a half dozen players on the team that I knew of who I thought might want to do it. I mean, if you're really into fantasy football, what the Scott Fish Bowl is, and that includes NFL players. Yeah. But I think it's just like sort of the wrong weekend for those guys. It's their last vacation week of the year, except for the bye week.
Well, listen, let's do another one in Rochester up by St. John Fisher. They'll be there for a couple of weeks. We'll be good to go.
That's right. All right. So again, we're going to spin. I have who's analyst, who's fan. We'll get to a point where we may have to sort of limit, and we'll just sort of leave it to one side once that happens. It'll all make sense. It'll all be fair. It's all on tape. Here we go. The 101 in League One. Live Scott Fish Bowl, Buffalo. Here it is.
Oh, wow.
Wheel of Names will actually say the name, too.
Schwarzkopf.
Almost had it.
Schwarzkopf.
The aforementioned. I almost had it.
I just had it. I said, will it say Schwarzkopf? Oh, my gosh.
Good call.
ARTZKOPF. Now, is this your assumed name, Mike? Because I know you get the 101 in every draft that you do. So,
last night I did 2 Best Ball Manias. I got the 103 in each. So I'm slipping.
Poor guy.
All right. So just to confirm, Brett's name has been removed.
Congratulations, Brett.
Congratulations, Brett. First pick of the night in the Scott Fish Bowl live draft. We love you. All right, here's the other 101.
I feel like this is like I'm watching The Price is Right here. Who else we got? John
Witt.
Nice.
John is also in the analyst category, fantasy6pack.net and Dynasty Nerds.
Okay.
So John will have the 101 in the second group. All right.
Not to be confused with John Wick, John Witt.
Listen, if you're going to talk
we
like
love
that.
you too, John. We love you too, John. All right, so this is
I'm almost out of water.
Pick 2.
Here we go. What happens when I run out of water?
That's right. Where's Maddie? Come on.
This is the 102 in League One to play against Brett. Oh.
Schwarzkopf and Stitzinger? I mean, I can't keep up.
Yes.
Holy cow.
That is in the fan category. Pete Stitzinger joins us and jumps in at the 102 in League One.
I thought Krautwurst was a mouthful. Holy cow, these names. I have to be in that league with Schwarzkopf and Stitzinger. Come on.
Witt, Shopshoff.
That's right.
Krautwurst, Stitzinger, Schwarzkopf, etc. All right. Good job, Pete. 102. This is a super flex league. You know what those drafts tend to look like at the top.
That's right. That's right.
Here we go. And you won't be drafting against Josh Allen, as it happens. We tried.
Oh, that's too bad.
Ooh.
Oh.
Dylan. That's
Dylan?
probably right. I don't know Dylan. He's in the fan category. and he is the 102 in League 2. These drafts will both be at Big Ditch. We're not sure yet whether they'll be in the same room. It's a huge place.
I saw they have a couple places. I saw more than one, correct? More than one Big Ditch, or no?
I don't know. There's the one signature downtown location. That's where we'll be.
Gotcha.
2 analysts, 2 fans. So keep track of that with me if you would, Adam.
You got it.
Here we go. Pick 103 in League 1. We're looking for a long name here, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, this has got to
move
up. It's got to move up to Pellegrini. No, it doesn't. The long name streak is broken in League 1.
That's got to be short for something. Got to be short for something.
Ian gets the 103. He's in the fan category. I've known Ian a little bit from the Sabres. And also with the 103, I'm terrible at the wheel of names, by the way. I've mentioned that to you many times.
What do you mean? It seems like you're doing great here. Louis G, everyone.
Louis God. He gets, I'm going to try to do that voice. Maybe for Halloween, I'll try to be the Wheel of Names voice. All right. Louis is the 103 in League 2.
That's what Analytics Are for Nerds podcast, stand-up comedian, friend, companion, right. Louis got.
Louis doing a ton of work for this event. I mean, just I'm blown away. He runs a business, and his whole day was, working out the venue and everything. Just amazing. All right. Amazing. And it's his first year in Fishbowl. He so wanted to be in it the last couple of years. He got the invite. He deserves it. And he was in Vegas with us. He and I were in 2 main events last year, and we cashed in both. We were winners in both, so that was great. We'll be out there again.
Analyst,
104.
Analyst?
Yes. Yeah, I mean.
Just making sure.
All right, 104. I got a chance here.
Shope! He's in with Schwarzkopf and Stitzinger.
I'm in League 1 at the 104. Oh, hashtag Lamar Jackson, everybody.
Oh, don't give it away.
I'm not going to. Well, I might, but
don't give it away.
Who cares? Like, what am I going to? Why don't coaches talk like this more? Just say the thing that's going to happen, and then comes to the game, and you still don't know if they're actually going to do that. You mix it up, and sometimes.
You might be breaking. Ian might go Lamar Jackson now.
He might. Kickers are more valuable this year, right? You could see
yes.
I was trying to think of a funny Rodrigo Blankenship situation here at the 104. 3rd round reversal. You might want to pick later. Matt Schauf made the key point. We're trying to figure out how to do this tonight. He's like, I don't know if he really meant it, but he might have. Like, we don't know what positions are the right positions anyway. With a
Is it
3rd round reversal
this year?
Yes.
Oh wow. I got to get caught up here.
I think it is.
I don't know.
Can somebody tell you in the chat? I think it is.
Okay. So if anyone's in the chat and they know,
not that it's going to matter to the Wheel of Names.
Start it over. All right, go ahead.
Let's meet the next person who is not in my division right here, 104.
Commando
Muffin.
Oh boy. Dueling Lamar Jacksons. This is content, Mike. That's what this is.
This is content.
What are the odds?
My. We're going to be in the 104 club.
Oh, what a club to be in.
What a club.
The 104 for both. The only way I can get a top 4 pick is if you've got one and I've got one. That was the only way that was going to go down. Was if the deep end both had 104. Joseph Pellegrino. Hold on one sec. Joseph Pellegrino has some information for its 3rd round reversal.
Yes. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe was almost the 103 in Division 1, but his name proved to be too long.
That's right.
All right. 105, right? 105 Division 1. Who's drafting behind me?
Division 1.
I know who I want it to be. I want it to be.
Who's getting sniped at every pick? Kyle
Tony. All right. We met Tony. He's helping us with the coordination with donations.
Awesome.
Lives in, I don't have to say where he lives, but I remember him telling me.
Lives on the corner.
And
Fan? Yes?
Fan.
Fan.
What's the breakdown? League 1 is Schwarzkopf, Shope, analyst, 2, 3.
Yeah, I've got 2 analysts and 3 fans, and then I've got 3 analysts and 1 fan in League 2 so far.
Okay. Notice on the wheel of names, right above where the arrow is right now, if you can see it, slot 23, slot 24. There are 2 open spots.
Ooh.
23 is possibly going to be in the analyst category, if not celebrity. So I'm treating this tonight for the purposes of the balance as an analyst. 24 will be auctioned off at the event. It could turn out to be someone in the media or someone else who's coming. It doesn't have to fall perfectly, but I don't think it matters.
The price just went way up if it's this, because if they're sitting next to me, it's going to be a great time.
I can see that. Here we go. Who will sit next to Adam?
That's right. Who's going to hobnob with me? Well, other than Louis. Oh, I'm next to Louis. I forgot about that.
Kyle.
Kyle Turner.
Kyle Turner, who is Louis' co-host.
Oh, so it's me, Louis, and Kyle? Oh, my gosh.
On the Analytics for the Nerds podcast.
I know 4 guys in this thing, and I'm sitting next to 3 of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Analyst.
That's 4 analysts, Mike. Just a heads up.
Wait a minute. Is that right? I got to check that because Scott. Hang on a second.
Hold on.
Is Kyle? Kyle's an analyst, I think. Yes. Kyle is. Yep, that's right. Nick Costantino from the main event winning team is labeled as a fan here.
Okay, but I'm saying we have 4 analysts so far in League 2, and that's all right.
That would be, I think it's 3, isn't it? The last 3.
John Witt is not an analyst.
Oh, he is right. It's 4. You're right.
Okay, so we're good still, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll cut it off at 6.
6 each. Okay.
The first one to get to 6 that's it.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, ready?
League 1, pick 6.
106 in League 1. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. Oh, Sneaky Joe.
See, you can tell the wheel of names knows how to say that. Sneaky Joe. Welcome to the League 1.
Welcome to the league.
Joe is my colleague, producer, friend, played numerous leagues with Joe. He is in the analyst camp.
Okay.
Deserves it.
He deserves it.
Embraces it. You know what's good about running out of water?
Being by the falls, you can just.
I brought wine too.
Oh, that's perfect. You're hydrated. You're ready to go.
With the Buffalo glass for the occasion. Oh. Wait a minute. There it is.
I mean, I've got.
It's not Buffalo wine.
A nice hard cider here. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw they got some nice berry sours there at Big Ditch that I might have to.
Yeah, that would be the Minky Boodle, or that's Thin Man. That would be the Berry Vision.
Berry Vision. That's what I knew you'd know. I
didn't write off. All right, 106 on your side of the aisle. Exciting.
Very exciting.
It's Eric.
I thought we were getting Kruger there for a second.
Eric is also an analyst, fantasy footballers. I'm familiar with him. Young guy, and I think he's going to be really cool to have in this. I haven't met him.
Look
Eric
at this.
Ludwig.
Look at this spread of death here. We got
Murderer's Row.
Analyst. 4 in a row. Not that means anything.
And 5 total. So you're 1 more away from that's it.
From that's it.
From that's it.
And then we can basically put the other analysts in the other league and call it a night.
That we'll figure out how to do that. Analysts in League 1 is Brett, myself, and Joe.
Sneaky Joe.
Right? Is that what you have? 3?
Yeah, that's what I have.
Okay. Halfway.
107. Exciting. I got
League 1.
This is Kruger. I'd put 5 on it. Oh.
Ooh, auction time.
Auction. So I'm gonna put fan auction.
That's right. The fan. I'm thinking of somebody right away. Slot 24 fan. I know someone who's going to come to this that would love to sit next to Joe.
They just rib Sneaky Joe the whole night.
And what an opportunity. That should cost extra. It's going to cost a little bit. Yes.
Is Bulldog going to be there?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
He knows about it. But I don't know. I'd love it, but it's going to be up to him.
All right.
And he likes Joe. I mean, overall.
That could be it. That could be the fan auction right there.
107. If this is an analyst, League 2 is done with analysts.
Yep.
And it is.
Oh. Slot 23.
Slot 23 and slot 24, they're inseparable.
So so this is Thurman's person?
Well, we're talking and hoping to find somebody. Okay. I don't know yet, but it could be.
What should I put in the spot?
Slot 23 analyst, just like it says on the wheel.
All right, so we're going to make that an analyst spot. We're all done with analysts. Murderers Row.
All right. So, does that mean?
Yes.
How many analysts are still up?
We've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've used 9, so we need to put 3 analysts in League 1.
Victoria, Zachary, Matt.
Yes.
Now, if one of those names is spun here, fine.
Yep. If not, we just plop it back in League 1 and we keep moving.
How many fans are left?
However many spots we have after that. So that would be 1, 2, 3. That would put us at.
We have 10 spots left.
Okay.
We have 3 analysts, so 7 fans.
That sounds about right. 7 and 3 is 10.
So that means I believe that this can be anybody, and it rides. Like whoever gets pulled here is locked in at 108 on League 1.
Perfect.
Okay, let's go.
So this League 1 pick
108. 8. Yeah, 8. Yeah. Kevin Smith. Kevin is in the fan category. So that leaves 6 fans and 3 analysts left to draw. The 3 analysts still up there are going to League 1.
Yes, we just don't know what spot.
Right. So if this spin, Adam, is an analyst, we're going to put him at him or her at 1-9 on the left.
Correct.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Oh, boy.
Matt or Julie. Matt Schauf is going to 109.
Yep.
In League 1. Man, is there a better fantasy player than Matt?
Nah, I can't think of one if there is.
I watched him on the Audible today. Like, damn.
He's locked in. He's locked in right now.
Okay, so he's 109. So we're still looking for 108 in League 2. If it happens that Zachary or Victoria come up here, they're going to 110 in League 1. Hopefully that made sense.
I'm locked in. I got you.
Julie. 2 S's, 2 N's, 2 T's.
Wow. So this is League 2?
League 2 E's if you want them. League 2, 108. Julie says she's super excited. I don't know her. She's coming down from well north of Toronto.
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
So she is in. So next up is 109 in League 2. Again, if it's Zachary or Victoria, they're going to the other side.
That's right.
Very World Cup style. And I think this feels like World Cup draw energy.
Oh, yeah.
I would say.
I wish we had bowls and all types of stuff.
If you could see what I could see right now, you'd feel like you were at that.
That's right. Minus us being paid off. That's the only difference. Is no one paid. That's right. Kruger.
All right. Zach is coming over to League 1.
Yep.
At the 10 spot. I think Adam, when a long time ago when we thought this was going to be a slow draft and you just went to the website and picked your preference, I picked 10. That was what I wanted for a draft position because 3rd round reversal and just I like that, the feel of that.
It's gonna be the Wild West out there with the different rules, and the 3rd round reversal is just gonna make it. I don't even have an idea of. I mean, I'm probably going quarterback, but I'm gonna have an idea of like the strategy of my team right now. It's gonna be shooting from the hip almost.
All right, next up, we're looking for 109 in League Two. If it happens to be Victoria, she's going to 111 in League One.
Yep.
It will not be. It will be Alex Reed.
Alex Reed. Do we know Alex Reed?
I don't.
All right.
IE or EI?
Excited to meet Alex.
EI. All right. That's the 109 in Group 2. Now we're looking for the 110 in League 2 next. If it's Victoria Geary, then she'll go to 111 in League 1.
So we're in League 2 right now?
Yep. 110.
So sorry, where did Alex Reed go? To League 1?
109 in League 2 is Alex Reed.
Okay, so we're back in League 2 again.
Nick Byerly is 110 in League 2.
Byerly. Okay.
Joseph Pellegrino's been close a lot tonight.
All
right. So now everything's caught up. We have 10 slots taken on each side. This will be for 111 in League 1. And it could be Victoria, fine, or anybody. Could be anybody.
Well, League 1 will be done after this, right? Because if it's a fan, then we throw Victoria at 12 and call it a day for League 1, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll still spin it. There it is. It's his time.
Joe.
It was his time.
It was. That's a long name, Joseph. I'm putting Joe Pellegrino, and I hope you don't hate me for doing that.
That's just sort of, you haven't even met yet.
Well, he's in the chat. I feel like we go way back. He wanted 12 too. He's, I'm sorry, Joe.
All right, so we know who's on which side now. Victoria will be on League 1, my side. Mike and Nick will be on League your side, but for draft order,
yep,
we'll spin it.
Sure.
Mike Christensen, avid fantasy player.
So this
the term that immediately comes to mind is mover and a shaker. I mean, Mike is a mover and a shaker. He's going to raise money for this thing, and everybody's going to love Mike. They're going to leave the draft going, who was that guy? I think his name was Mike. And that's who it is.
There's going to be a lot of Mikes there. So
this is going to, let's just spin it for posterity. This will be Victoria in League 1 and Nick, main event winner in League 2.
Is there any relation to Nate Geary?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know, though. Writes for football, guys.
Nick Costantino's pick 12 in League 2?
Yep. And Victoria, here it is. She gets the wheel to herself.
Oh, to herself.
She will pick 12th, 13th, and 25th.
Hold on a minute. Let me get this straight. Nick Costantino, who won $500,000, is a fan. So I'm in the league with that guy, and I'm sandwiched between 8 straight analysts. Okay. All right. I see how this is going to go. Okay.
All right. I am going to close the wheel of names. So I'll give you the spreadsheet next.
Give it to us next.
So everybody can see, take a picture of it, whatever. And make sure this matches. All right, it's up. Make sure this matches what you have before we wrap. Got it?
All right. Am I adding it here? Okay. So we've got Brett Schwarzkopf. Why don't you read it off to me, and then I'll look at what I got here.
Okay. League 1, Live Buffalo, Brett Schwarzkopf, Pete Stitzinger, Ian Ott, Mike Shope, Tony Yaeger, Sneaky, Joe DiBiase. You hear what Sneaky did? Yes, he got out sneaked. You hear about it?
No.
He did a $3 underdog classic slow draft.
What?
Can you imagine? Like
12 teams?
He signs up on Friday, $3, and it starts and okay, 8 hours. He's into round 4. It started on Friday. He's into round 4. It's a $3 league.
Oh my gosh. He got snuck. Sneaky got snuck.
Sneaky Joe got snucked. 107, we will auction off at the event, July 14th, Big Ditch Brewery. 108, Kevin Smith. 109, Matt Schauf. 110, Zachary Kruger, NBC Sports Edge. Joseph Pellegrino, 111. Victoria Geary, Football Guys, 112.
That's what I have.
League 2. harder to read. John, I'm going to read it off the spreadsheet because the colors. John Witt, Dylan Annese, I hope that's right. Louis Gott, Adam Krautwurst, that's you. Kyle Turner, Louis and Kyle, Analytics for the Nerds. Eric Ludwig at 106. Slot 23, TBD. If somebody gets a text tonight from Josh Allen that says, actually, I can do it, that'll be Josh Allen.
Oh, my God.
It'll just be somebody.
Josh might get a text from me. He might get a text.
We're hoping to do the best we can at 107 for a little bit more punch to raise money for Thurman's Foundation. 108, Julie Bissonnette from north of Toronto, Alex Reed, Nick Byerly, Mike Christensen, and Nick Costantino. That 107 possibility is promising and exciting. I hope I don't let you down.
I'm very excited about
All
this.
right. Anybody have any questions? Anything in the chat? That's it.
Yeah, people have been going. They've been excited. They've been calling out what picks they want. Pick 12. I don't think anybody got what they wanted though. But
I didn't get you. I didn't get Louis. I didn't get Mike, a close friend. But I got Joe and a lot of other cool people. Yeah,
no, I listen. And I'm spending the whole summer with Louis and Kyle. We're going on a road trip to the expo. I'll see Louis in Vegas as well. So I'm excited.
It's going to sort of bleed into Friday too. The drafts will be July 14th. The whole draft will not be live. Scott wants to sort of like break it up in the middle. So we'll draft live for 8 or 10 rounds and then join the party. Everybody will get a walk-up song.
Ooh.
Every time a Bills player is picked by either draft, we have the shout song blasting in the bar.
What a great idea.
We got some ideas. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, if not tonight, probably tomorrow. I'll announce it on my Twitter at Shope Talk.
I'll just say, is there a place to get all this like information on the live portion of it, the actual event?
Yeah, I'm telling you most of what I know. There'll be lots of baskets. I got off the air at 7:00. We went on the air at 8:30. On my drive home, I raised $250 in restaurant donations. So I've got them in the car, and it's going to be amazing this night.
I can't. I'm only an hour away, and I'm probably going to spend the night. Just an FYI.
Right.
So.
We blocked out hotel rooms, so there'll be Friday morning. I have the week off.
Me too. Oh wow!
Oh no!
Oh no! We might not make it to Big Ditch.
We might not make it to the draft.
There's going to be a Big Ditch, but
pick 4 is going to be the soft spot for both leagues.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Scott Fish. Thank you, Louis G, for all his work. Thank you, everybody in the Live Buffalo, for helping to see this through. And I hope tonight was a fun and fair way to determine draft positions, because what it means is those of us who put in our preferences didn't get what we want, probably. But hopefully this is fun and cool anyway. Thank you, Adam. See everybody July 14th at Big Ditch if you're in the group or you buy a ticket. As for the deep end, we'll be back on Thursday, right?
We'll be back Thursday.
All right. Thanks to Draft Sharks for powering our show, and we'll see you on Thursday night. Good night.
See you guys.